Rocky was getting him used to just getting punched because he was all wincing. He was afraid to get punched. He was a pretty boy, right? He was used to the life just being cool. So I did the activity. I just sped it up fast. You gotta be willing and able to embrace the normalcy of sucking at this point. The game is learning your speedometer. Some of you, you are a Ferrari. Some of you, you are a Pinto right now. Nothing wrong with that. The best thing you can do is go call the carrier. If you're brand new, well, you need to get punched in the face. If you're seasoned, you need to get punched in the face. You need to learn how to take a punch. You got the normalcy of 3 things. I already got it. I don't remember filling it out. I'm not interested. If that's like a shocker to you, then you're not normal yet. All right, Mac Agbor, Haven Real Talk. So there are a lot of carriers that we use. We're going to focus on one each time so that you can become an expert, or you know enough to at least know. And as time goes on, you'll get better and better and better. The company that we're going to be talking about today is American Amicable. Now, I know this is being recorded, so I say this in all love, but the American Amicable, it's a great company. They're out of Texas. I'm going to share my screen. If anyone ever has any questions about carriers, the best thing you can do is go call the carrier. They have $12 an hour employees, maybe 14 or 15 now, that they have for you. You can call them and talk to them all day long. Hey, what is this product about? Who would be a good fit for this product? Like, talk to them. Like, get good at your craft. Now, don't spend all that time. Do it in the least productive time of the day. Or better yet, they have brochures. That's how you learn. That's how I learned, right? I learned by actually trying to do it and seeing who was going to be a good fit for where. But maybe in a nighttime, maybe I look at a brochure. I'm going to help you out. So American Amicable, I will be upfront. Their website is not the most friendly. It's all right, but it's not the most friendly. I'm going to share my screen for those that have never used this company before. Where does American Amicable rate for me as far as the order of operations, if you will, when it comes to being new? So if you're brand new, typically we use Americo. App is easy. They approve a lot of folks. Price is pretty good too. Pretty good. Next one, I go with either Aetna or Prosperity. Prosperity, I love them too because the app is easy. So if someone gets declined with Americo, assuming that the financial inventory said that they should have been approved, that means they're either lying to me or there's something that they don't know. I don't want to go blind on another company. Like, you could go Aetna, but why go blind? What I love about Prosperity is they have a live underwriting where you can peek through the window and you can see what the meds are for the client that they don't even know. So I'll give you a perfect example. One medication that you'll hear is it's a cancer drug. It's of course I remember every time, but now it's oh, there it is. It's ondansetron, ONDANSETRON. It's a medication that they give for people who either have cancer or nausea. Like, when they go into surgery, nauseous, they give that to you, but it's on your script. Now, Americo's underwriting works this way, and I'm telling you this so that you know how it works, but you don't have to memorize it. They have a score. Each medication has a score, and when the medications add up and exceed whatever score that is, it's declined. They don't care. Prosperity, on the other hand, they let you, I don't want to say dispute, but they ask you. So they run the life check. And then they say, hey, I show this person has this on their medication. They'll say, hey, I show they were taking amlodipine. Was it for congestive heart failure? I show they were taking ondansetron. Was it for cancer? You say no because it wasn't. Now they're approved. So that's one of those things as far as error or order of operations for carriers. So Americo, typically I go Prosperity, then Aetna, then AmAm is my fourth. And the only reason AmAm is my fourth, I like AmAm, is because the website is not as friendly. And secondly, they require the bank account before you even do a pre-check. which, for clients is a little bit, awkward, right? Some it could be. So like literally they require the bank account before they do a pre-check. And when you submit the application while it's in underwriting, let's say it's in underwriting, you don't get an immediate approval. They draft the account anyway while they do it. And then they'll refund it if they say no, which is to me kind of kooky, but it is what it is. Normally when we go AMAM, we know, I will tell you because I know that they'll get approved. So that's AMAM. That's why they're a fourth, but they're a great company. One thing to know about AMAM, I'm about to pull up this. And if you're with me, the website for AMAM, there's two different websites. It could be very, very confusing. AmericanAmicable.com is the company website. That's where you get the brochures, all that stuff. But to actually do the application, it's insuranceapplication.com. I know it's still pretty stupid to me, but this is the reason I use Americo, right? Americo is pretty simple. But insuranceapplication.com is where you go. Let me just share my screen real quick. And I think that'll help some folks see how this works. Give me 1 second here. Bear with me here, y'all. All right, bring this way. All right, so insuranceapplication.com. And as you guys saw on the web browser, insuranceadmin.com is for prosperity. So boom. So this is, if you were going to AMAM site, this is how it look like. This is the same place you go to for a phone quote. So, and this is a little tip, pro tip. You always quote on your phone. You don't quote on the computer. I don't know why. Maybe it's the cookies, but I've done that before quoting on computers. It gives me a weird number. And I told the client the number that I thought was the number. And by the time I do the application, it's a different number because maybe it saved an amount, an age. So just again, quote on your phone. So go to this website on your phone, and then you do the app here on here. Okay. So you click on this mobile application, you pop in your code. And I definitely recommend get all your passwords saved. This is not one of those situations when you're running live. You don't want to be having tech support. I can't figure my password. Get all that set up. Well, that's the easy stuff that you should be able to do, right? New application. And then you run through. So American Amicable, there's two different ones. There's sister companies, Occidental. That's for some states that are in the East Coast. The product that we're going to go through is Senior Choice. They have a couple of them. Remember, each company has their version of a kind of product. Think of it like Nissan has the Titan for their truck, right? Toyota has the Tundra for their truck. Ford has Silverado, right? Everyone has their term product in a different name. Everyone has their whole life product for a different name. Senior Choice is the name of the product for AMAM. And Senior Choice covers, I think it's 50 all the way. Oh, no, it's actually 45 now. I have to look. Let me pull this brochure up. I'm gonna share with you this brochure that I put together or pulled up. And where did I get it? Well, I got it from the American Amicable website. I mean, that's where you get it all. Let me share this real quick. This is the challenge of having two screens, huh? Where is it at? There it is. All right, so this is the product at a glance. All right. This is I think these are the terms. It says, these are the term products. Let me go to the Senior Choice. Darn it. This is term. Okay, so let's just do a term product. We don't use their term often, but if there was a term to use, it's the term made simple. That's a great product. It really is a great product. It goes high. And of course, Senior Choice is their secondary product. The term made simple, I think, goes all the way up to $500,000, if I remember correctly. There is a difference. The term made simple and the home protector. Those are two term products that we use normally. All this other stuff, don't worry about it. Don't worry about none of this other stuff. These two, home protector and term made simple. There is also easy term, but just don't worry about that. I think term made simple is the one that you want to focus on. Home protector, it's if they have a home. It is kind of crazy to think. I don't want to confuse anybody because they ask for the interest rate and who it was. Most situations, you're just doing term made simple. Okay. I'm going to focus on the Senior Choice. The reason I would normally go AMAM automatically would be there's a medication that no other carrier will take level, none. So I want you to remember this. If you see a medication on the client's script that is clopidogrel, I think it's called Plavix is the generic. By the way, how did I learn that? Well, Google is my friend. When I'm writing these medications down, I don't know half of these medications. I just literally, as best as I can, phonetically, they say they're taking clopidogrel. I type in clopidogrel on Google, uses. Boom. And even if I spelled it wrong, it brings it up the right. And I'm like, oh, okay, Mr. Jones, that looks like that was for high blood pressure. Okay. Clopidogrel, they give it to folks who they're concerned about their heart. And most carriers, they don't like that. So they will give it a graded, which could be 2-year wait, or it could be maybe less coverage for a little higher price. AmAm will take it level. So if you see clopidogrel, AmAm. Now, that's assuming that they're on other meds, okay? It goes up to 50 grand, if I remember correctly. 50 grand. But that's the biggest thing I want you to remember when it comes to AmAm is senior choice. Let me share my screen again for you guys, just so you can see this, because I don't want any confusion. So by the time we're done with this, when you see and hear AmAm, the hope is you know exactly what to expect. All right, so senior choice, you guys see this? Final expense, older? I don't know if you guys can see. If you can see my highlight on the screen, drop a 1 in the chat, please. All right. And Raul, if you would, please. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, so senior choice. So this goes from 50 years old to 85, right? Which is pretty cool. The minimum is 2,500 bucks, which is a big deal because there's some folks that are broke that need help. Another good thing about AmAm is they're one of the only companies that take Chime. You guys have some folks that take Chime or use those online banks. A lot of carriers will not take it. They don't like it. But AmAm, as long as it has a writing number and a routing number and an account number, and it drafts, they will take it. Okay. If someone is younger and they want to do a whole life, they do have a whole life version as well for younger folks. The name of that product is Family Choice. So Family Choice. So again, I don't use it often. If you're young and you want a whole life, I'm going with IUL. Right? I'm going to IUL. It doesn't make any sense to me to do anything else besides a cash growth IUL if you're young, right? All right, so that's the product training. For any questions, y'all, and if you have any, maybe throw them in the chat and I'll knock them out maybe on the back end if you could. But again, that's AmAm. Again, the immediate uses, clopidogrel. Of course, if someone has Chime, that's why you take them. And this is, again, one of the reasons that I ask you to fill out the financial inventory as best as you can, because there's so many factors going through my head when we see this financial inventory. Like, for example, you're brand new. You don't know that this company doesn't take Chime. You know, maybe they're healthy. Maybe they don't have clopidogrel, but they have Chime as their account. Boom, guess what I gotta do? But all these calculations, I can't expect you to calculate because you're brand new, but I can do it fast. And the goal is over time, you start seeing, oh, wait, this guy had this situation and Mac went AmAm. Oh, this guy had this situation, Mac went Aetna. And that's how I learned. Over time, I started seeing patterns that with this certain med, you go this person. Does that make sense? You earn while you learn, right? It's an hour in the field is worth 20 hours in the classroom is the whole point. So I hope that makes sense for folks. All right. I'm gonna make Raul, I'm gonna make you co-host if you could, so that as people come in, if you can get them in the game so that I'm not getting distracted. All right, boom. All right, Valerie, you asking yeah, so the infinite banking, just so everyone knows, it's a minimum of 250 bucks a month. The whole become your own bank. There's 2 products. You can do a whole life or you can do a term. The whole life is more the traditional, the real deal, the OG of IBC. It's a minimum of 250 bucks a month for the car to do its job, right? It's like that gal that Raul saved. Someone tried to get her in a product, but unfortunately they didn't put enough money in it for it to work. If anyone's going to do under 250 bucks a month, you have to go the baby, which is the IUL. The IUL, in my opinion, is the other way to go because, again, you need 250 bucks a month for it to work. And the difference between the two is liquidity. Liquidity meaning them having more access to their cash now. We take a little bit of a hit. The reason most people will never do an IBC, never do a whole life is because we take a little bit of a hit. More than a little bit. You know, the IULs, they pay out about 90%, 100% comp. The IBCs they do pay less. Why? Well, they pay it's 50% of whatever the client's paying is what you're paid on. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means they have access to their cash day one, like the first year. Whereas in an IUL, if you look at every illustration, it takes 2, 3, 4, usually 3, 5 years before it even catches up to how much they paid. Even if, right? Well, why is that? Because it's recouping the cost of paying the agent so much money. That's why. Whereas we take a hit now, but here's what's going to happen. When you set someone up right and they got their money, they're going to do more than just the 250 bucks a month, 100 bucks a month. When they can get access and liquidity to their money, no surrender penalties early, they got that 30 grand in their bank account, 20 grand, 10 grand. They can put it in a policy, access, maybe 70 to 85% of it. Now, use it for whatever they're going to use it for. It's still compounding. They're going to go refer you up the yin yang. You're going to say, hey, Terrence, hey, I got a friend that needs this too. I got my sister, my brother. Yes, you're taking a little small hit, but you're setting them up right. And because of that, I'm telling you, it will come back to you. It will come back to you 10 times. I got people that would not do an IUL, but they'll do an IBC because of the liquidity. That's the power of it. So anyway, I got a guy that we're actually switching over. He had an IUL. And nothing against IULs. I normally put IULs or do IULs for estate planning. Typically is what I do, estate planning. So instead of getting someone a final expense policy, get them an IUL, properly illustrated, properly done. They will get a bigger death benefit that way. Better than a final expense, because final expense, they're compensating for the health. So the cost of insurance is higher. Whereas if they can qualify for a term with the possibility of a long-term growth where it goes to 120, they're going to be, it's the best of both worlds. They're not doing it for cash growth. They're doing it for the death benefit, which that's the reason that I do the IULs for that reason, or if it's less than 250 bucks a month. So let me go jump in the training. I'm going to knock out some of these other ones as I go through. Let me see. There was another question. Okay, someone says, I know Foresters is one of our carriers. Why would you go there for clients with health issues? Foresters is a decent carrier. I may want to ask your question again. I think okay, there we go. Thank you, Ron. I think he answered the question. Yeah, I normally just think Foresters when someone has diabetes. If they're young, under age 35 with diabetes, most carriers don't like that. They're very, very scared. Especially if you've had insulin, man, back in the day, no carrier would take you. Like, sorry, but Foresters will take you. So they are I think, one of the only diabetic friendly companies that I know of, and they will take people with diabetes. And the cool thing is they actually include the living benefits with that, which is awesome. That's what people need. When you're talking, one second, when you're talking to clients, one thing I tell them is whatever you have previously is a flip phone. It's a flip phone. I don't care what it is. This is a smartphone. That's the difference. Flip phone versus a smartphone. And so today's day and age, if a product or a program does not have living benefits, who in their right mind, having a flip phone, given the chance to get a smartphone, would stick with their flip phone, unless you're in construction, right? Let's be real, because you need a phone that will you can step on it, run over it and still works. But you guys know what I'm saying. So if you explain to them like that, they're like, well, yeah, it's a no-brainer. Well, no-brainer. It's like no duh. So anyway, hey, if you could throw your questions on the chat, do that now, because this is being recorded, and I'm going to just go through so that we can knock out the stuff, and I'll knock it out at the very end. I promise you I'll set time for it. But put it in the chat to make sure you don't forget. All right. Let me fast forward to the new person. So this is going to be the training for today. We're going to talk about how to begin. So the strategy to begin. So I want you to remember two things. The strategist will always destroy the tactician. What does that mean? Well, the strategist is someone who tells me, who answers the question, how do you think? The tactician is the one that says, tell me what to do. Here's the problem. If I tell you what to do in this situation, well, tomorrow will come and the situation may be different. So that same thing I told you what to do today, does it apply to tomorrow? It may not. So you have to have a strategy, meaning a philosophy of how to think, because if you are taught properly how to think, you can adapt that to any situation and you can still win. So I'm going to give you the philosophy of how to start, and I'm also going to give you the tactics of how to. So, okay, here's the deal. How do you start? Well, first things first, your philosophy needs to be, you need to get punched in the face. If you're brand new, well, you need to get punched in the face. If you're seasoned, you need to get punched in the face. You need to learn how to take a punch. You guys remember that scene on Rocky? I forget the newest one. I think it was Creed 1, 2, 3, whatever. Remember how I think, no, it's Creed 2. he hadn't been fighting for a while, right? He was challenged as a champ and he was trying to get back in the game. And Rocky got him in that desert, right? And he had that little rope tied it to that dude, that big dude, and they were just punching each other. What was the point of that exercise? Rocky was getting him used to just getting punched because he was all wincing. He was afraid to get punched. He was a pretty boy, right? He was used to the life just being cool. Until you get used to getting punched in the face, you're always going to be second guessing yourself, flinching. You're never going to be natural. So the first thing, whether it be soccer or whatever sport, I keep referencing soccer because that's what I played, is you got to be willing and able to embrace the normalcy of sucking, the normalcy of people saying no, the normalcy of three things. I already got it. I don't remember filling it out. I'm not interested. If that's if that's like a shocker to you, then you're not normal yet. Like you have not embraced it yet. Just get used to it. If you're in sales, you know the first no don't matter. Everyone says no just because, right? So you got to get used to that first. That's the strategy, is get used to get punched in the face. So suck fast. Because your strategy is to suck fast, well, you're going to have to employ the next strategy in order to compensate for sucking fast. Well, what is that? So if you're writing down notes, which by the way, you should be, if you're thinking that somehow you're going to memorize all this, good luck. Strategy is suck fast. Second strategy is time travel. So because you will suck fast, you've already agreed and accepted it, you are going to time travel. What do I mean? Well, I'm not saying become Marty. I'm saying you're going to have to compress time. So what I said to myself is, man, I asked around and I needed to get some numbers. I said, hey, how long does it take the normal person to make X amount? Okay, to make X amount, how much activity does a normal person have to do, or the average person? Okay, I got that number. And you know what I said to myself? Okay, I don't got time to waste. Like, I had 10 kids, a wife, they need to eat, right? So I said to myself, I believe this could work, but if it's not going to work, I want to know now, not later. So the only way you can do that is by compressing time. How? Well, I said, I'm going to do in 1 month and 30 days what most people do in a quarter, in 3 months. That's what I did. So I did the activity. I just sped it up fast. So if it's, most folks do $100 a day, I'll do 3. Ain't no thing to me, because I know Mac will work. See, this is one of those things when we interview, we tell people you need to have an above average work ethic. Average in America is, 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. That's average. I'm not saying you can't win here being average. I mean, you'll be all right, but this is tough. This is the NBA. I'm not saying that you can't win. I mean, maybe the stars will line up perfectly for you. I don't know. But I can't train you and guarantee your success in any different way than I did it. So if you want to go hoping that you're going to win on average, you're going a different road than Mac. I didn't bet on average. I bet on above average work ethic. That's what I did. So I said, you know what? If you'll make $100, I'll do 3. See, that's why I push. Some people say, Mac, you crazy. Yes, I am cray-cray because I don't got time to waste. Like, my philosophy is this, and if this is not your philosophy, that's cool. That's cool. Just take it for a grain of salt. The way I see it is this, yo. We only got one life. The only commodity is the greatest one is time. Money you can replace, stuff you can replace, but you can't get your time back. We all have people we love, our kids, our husbands, all these people we cherish. And the thing that spells love is T-I-M-E, it's time. That's how you spell love. If time is the greatest commodity, well, time is great, but without money, it kind of, it ain't so high. You know what I'm saying? Money is great, but without time, it ain't good either. You have to find the balance of both, but typically you must get one in order to make the other sweeter. All I'm saying is I push hard because I don't got time, because tomorrow I could be gone. And for me, the reason that I push so hard that makes it a reality is because I almost died. And I thought to myself, had I died, my family would have been screwed. Most people, they leave debt for their family, y'all. Like, for real, 98% of people leave debt. They don't put them in a better position. They came to this world. No one knew who they were. They leave the world. No one knows who they are. Why not be different? Why not be a freedom fighter? And that's what I said to myself. Listen, if I'm going to go out, at least I'll be a military man in a sense. Daddy was a freedom fighter. He fought to the very end. He was going for our freedom. That I can die. I hope they put that on my gravestone. Daddy was a freedom fighter. He fought in the line of duty because I was fighting for the freedom. That I can die with pride in because when that situation happened, I was so caught unawares that I broke down. And I don't want to go long on this, but I'm just telling you where I come from. And if you were not in this mentality thinking that tomorrow is promised, you're foolish. You're naive. And maybe it takes a near-death experience. Maybe it takes someone being close to you to go away. But if tomorrow isn't promised, everything you do today counts. And so if you're looking for a reason to push, to, to compress time, to time travel, that's why I time traveled. Because I had other things that I wanted to do, other things I needed to do, other things I think I'm called by God to do. And this is just a season. And in the seasons, there's a time for, planting, there's a time for harvesting. And in my situation right now, this is my season of planting and harvesting. And so if you're a part of that harvest, welcome to the harvest. I'm excited to lock arms with you, but we are here to work. And if we work, what do they say in the good book? Those sheaves, though. Those sheaves will be great, glorious. So I'll jump off the soapbox for a second. So anyway, you want to time travel. That's the strategy. So suck faster, time travel. Okay. Now, what does that look like? If you're brand new, knowing that you're going into the game, you're not going for sales. Sales are the results. You're going for the activity. The activity you can control. You can't control the results, but with the steering wheel of the activity, you can control the results, but you can't control the activity indirectly. So that's what I mean by that when I say you have to simply focus on sharpening your axe. It's getting a certain number of objections. So what I had to do was I had to trick myself because I was so weakened when I came from this whole medical issue that almost took my life, took my time, took my spirit. I was so weakened that I didn't believe. And so I didn't have the strength to believe that I could win. So I had to fool my mind and say, you know what? I have to win somehow because I'm a winner. So what I said to myself was I would not go for the yeses. I would go for the nos. And I could win. I won that way. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get me 100 nos. And I didn't care what they said. So I was just down these leads. That's why I was able to time travel. I'm competitive by nature. So I'm going for that no. So I went for 300 no's, which is doubtful you'd get, but maybe go for 100 no's. So again, you're just simply sharpening your axe. Your first week, you're sharpening your axe. You're sharpening your axe. You're going through the leads. You're trying to make sure that your system, your process is perfect. So this is what you're doing. Before a NASCAR car goes on the real race, they do multiple test trials around the track over. I mean, they push the car to the limit because what you don't want to have happen is you're in the middle of a race and you get surprised. Surprises are not good. We can all handle problems, but we don't and cannot handle surprises. So you're trying to suck out and identify every surprise that could exist. That's why you're sharpening your axe. You're going through, so you're doing what products do, like R&D companies. They do trial and trial and trial and trial. Do you think they get a product and then they go to put it on the shelf immediately? No. So you got to think like a business. A business. You are trying to get the trials out. So that's what you're doing. Your first week, you're pushing it. You're getting objections. I'm talking a lot of them. And the problem right now is if you were a company and you went for 2 objections, you would put your product on shelf and then you would get sued. And then you would lose all that money because you didn't put the product on trial sufficiently. Some of us, we start early. We are going for the win, not realizing the win we should be going for is the process. You need to sharpen your process so well that when you got, your process will be so good. Hear me out. It will be so good that you'll buy some leads. You'll buy 100 leads. You'll say, okay, look at my numbers. Based on my speedometer, I'm going to get 5 sales from that. Wouldn't that be a good feeling? Like knowing already how many you're going to get. Think about that. That's because your process, your speedometer has gotten so good. I'm going to give you one last example, then I'll continue. What you're trying to do is get a GPS, get a speedometer for your vehicle. The vehicle is there, meaning if you got into a car and you press the gas, nothing happened. You press it again, nothing happened. All of a sudden, boom, you got whiplash. That car, its throttle is screwed up, right? And if you press it a little bit, it went a lot. You press it a lot, went a little bit. You would be so freaked out to drive that car. That's how some of us run this business. You want a thermometer, or sorry, a speedometer that when you press it a little bit, you kind of get an idea. You know to go 5 miles an hour. You know to go 10 miles an hour. Control is what you're looking for. control. When you press a little bit on that gas, when you press a little bit on that 10 dials, 30 dials, 100 dials, you should know what you're going to get, but you will never know until you've run through enough. So I don't want to, I want you to make sure that you understand the game is not necessarily just selling a lot. Everyone comes from a different vantage point. The game is learning your speedometer. Some of you, you are a Ferrari. Some of you, you are a Pinto right now. Nothing wrong with that. You can't control where you start. Where you finish is on you. Some of you, you are Camry. Some of you're an SUV. So you guys know when you hit the gas on all these different vehicles, they go differently. So stop comparing Max Ferrari to someone else's. Like, you are you. So it's you versus you. You have to learn you. How do you learn you? Do a lot of numbers. That's the strategy. Do a lot. And if you avoid the trial phase of your R&D project called you, I'm telling you, you're going to fail. Or you put your product on the shelf and then you freeze up when the problem happens and then you lose. You go through a lawsuit, BK, that great product. You know how many great products that have come through the shelf because of lack of preparation? Maybe the attorney didn't look at a number. He didn't look at a clause. Out of business because some client sued him for something frivolous and now they're out of business. It happens all the time because of lack of preparation. So step one, prepare. Okay. Here's the goal. Then you're going to strike. So if you're doing this right, guess who should be your coach? I should be your coach. And I've given a lot of people some breath because this is a game where you are self-employed. I'm not your boss. I'm your coach. And the way I've always worked as a coach, I'm competitive by nature. Listen, if a player doesn't show up, you don't want it. Like my kids, I never want to be that dad that I'm like just grinding and pouncing on my kids. Listen, I told my kids, hey, listen, if you want me to coach you, I know if I coach you, you'll win. But I don't want to push you like that. I want you to want it. Me, man, I loved it when my coach pushed me. You know how I know you love me? When you push me. That's me. But that's not everyone's love language. So I told my kids, hey, I'm going to give you a couple of drills. Do these drills every day, once a week. And when you've done it for once a week, come back and talk to me. And if they did it, then I would coach them. That's the condition. So what I'm telling you is, guess who should be coaching? Guess who should be getting these numbers? Hey, I did this week. Am I on track? It's me. Guess whose phone should be blowing up because you're in R&D mode so much? Me. Guess who should know? Guess who should not even doubt what you're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Me, because you send me your schedule. Guys, that's what I did. Every great salesperson, every great leader, believe it or not, they are silently pleading to be led. They want leadership. So if you want to win, here's the deal. You got to show up. You have to show up and you have to demand. The way I roll, listen, I know I'm good. I will demand your time because I know I'm worth it. I'm going to say, listen, man, guess what I told my upline? I'm going to blow you up, but man, you are going to be glad. You are going to be glad. You know, the last time I talked to my upline, like 3 years ago, and he makes he makes some good overrides. You see what I'm saying? Demand it because you're worth it. And if you're not worth it, it's a lack of belief in yourself. And I can breathe as much as I can in you, but at some point you got to take some breaths yourself because you can run with 1,000, but you can drag one dead body. That's what I can't do. So remember, you're going to do an R&D project on you. Then you're going to go ahead and strike. Report your numbers. Go through. Do those numbers right. And then you're going to repeat. So here's what that looks like in reality, in real time. Your first goal is to go do help 20 families a month. That's your goal. You've got your process. You're kind of working. 20 a month is the minimum. If you ain't doing 20 a month and you're full-time, you ain't working. Dude, I mean, look, my boy Raul, poster child, comes in the game. I said, hey, he says, what should I do? I said, you're going to buy $1,000 worth of leads. That's what we got to do. And then you need $1 leads. And Raul, if I'm being honest, you've done that before and you did not do the work. True? And I told him straight up, bro, listen, don't buy the leads if you ain't going to work it. Just don't. Say your money. He says, no, I'm going to do it. Okay. He dialed him. And he did what? He did 3-4 families last week? Come on now. So if you ain't doing 20 families a week, you ain't working. Stop fooling yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Go do something else. Because the world needs, I don't know, other people doing other stuff. Go coach. Go volunteer. But if you ain't going to do the work, just come on. So 20 a week. So 20, no, sorry, 20 a month. 20 a month, 20 a month, 20 a month, 20 a month, 20 a month. Minimum of 20 a month is the minimum to get in the game. And then, of course, then do 40. And then you're going to be in 40 to, you can do 100 actually. The truth is because you will get better. You will get better. And then as you get to 40, you can do more. Now, if you're not building an agency, no biggie. My recommendation is start building like right now. You need to do 40 and bring on 2. So 2 muscles is the selling muscle, recruiting muscle. You don't want to be like that guy. You guys seen that guy on the gym? He's all buff up top. His legs look like spaghetti strings. You know, he missed leg day, right? Don't be that guy or that girl. You want to have both muscles because I'm telling you, the real money, the real freedom is in building an agency. So you should be bringing 2, 3, 4 a week, meaning you should be sharing the message twice a day. I'm saying, hey, random question. Do you keep your income options open? Hey, if you can earn extra income on the side and it didn't interfere with what you're doing, would you be open to taking a look? Just ask that question twice a day. Don't care about the results. Just ask the question twice a day and the rest will take care of itself. All right. So those are the 2. Strike. Sorry. Know you're going to suck, right? Embrace it. Then compress time travel, right? Do R&D on you and then go strike. And then you rinse and repeat. Make sure you have a follow-up partner, someone who will be making sure you're on the right, benchmark, right? Someone you can bounce ideas off of and back and forth and back and forth. Here's the deal, y'all. I'm gonna be real. I can't take you to I can't take you to 85 a month because I've never done 85 a month. I can't take you to 82 a month. I've never done 82 a month. But I can take you to 80. I can take you to 80 a month. But that's all right with you. Not to say I couldn't do 80 plus a month. I could. I just realized that I rather, my passion is in building people. And it isn't just people, it's the right people. So if you're the person who, if I can do 80, can we agree half of that would be okay with you? Half of that at least? 40? Would 40 change something? It's a matter of simply, you have to be coachable. You got to be coachable. You got to be coachable. I'm saying do everything I tell you to do. If you do everything I tell you to do and you don't win, it's on me. I will take it. I will take the hit like a coach should, right? It's on the coach. But if you execute flawlessly, or if you don't execute, that's on you. So just do it all. And it's not because I have an ego, it's because I have people who have taught better things, greater things than me. I'm just simply a great copycat. So I hope that was helpful. I'm gonna go ahead and close out, and then we'll knock out some questions at the end so we can make sure we get this. So let me just close out for those people who are not here and can hear it on the back end. So that's it, guys. Take care, take charge, and we will see you guys next week.